Hello, this is Cuckoo. Today I want to show you this. This is Korg's new synthesizer called the Wavestate. And yeah, it's a digital synthesizer. It doesn't weigh much at all. It's super portable. But the keys, they're full size. So it's very convenient to play with full size keys. And it's a synthesizer borrowing or building upon the heritage of the Wavestation from back when I was a teenager. But now I'm not a teenager anymore, and they made this new modern synth with a really efficient yet clever and deep workflow, but it's efficient when you get to know it. So it's the user interface has been like super customized to handle this engine alone. And yeah, I think they've done a great job with the interface, even though it requires some digging to learn all of the quirks of the synthesizer. Yeah, so where to go from here? I really want to show you how it works, especially how the synth engine works, because when you turn on a synthesizer, you browse the factory presets. That is just a little example of what it can do. And to be honest, I never really care about the factory presets. I get excited when I learn how to make my own presets and my own sounds, and that's what I want to show you today. A little bit like a brief. It's not going to be brief, I know it, but I want to be so efficient so I could call it brief, but let's call it a beginner's introduction to how to use the Wavestate and build your own sounds. I'm going to make a few examples, like a really simple one, some a little bit more I don't know, expressive, and then maybe like a really difficult one too, or maybe not. We'll see what I have time for. Okay, enough talking. Yeah, I want to show you how it works. Let's do it. Okay, so here it is, the Wavestate. All I've connected is the audio output, a sustain pedal by Yamaha, and power. Okay, so let's turn it on. It should be here somewhere. Let's see. And Korg Wavestate. It's going to start by initializing all the samples and the whole sample library, but it's streaming all of the sounds straight from the flash storage on the device. So there is no loading times of samples or anything. It's just instant. But I think it still needs to just initialize all of the samples like that. Okay, so it's ready to go. So what I usually do when I'm new to synthesizers, first to browse some factory presets to get an idea of what it can sound like. And it starts out in this section where you can just start selecting presets. This one is lit, the perform, and this one is the one to browse presets. This is the value. It says that, yeah, this is the value knob. So whatever is selected on the screen, this will change that value. Okay, so right now we can see all the performances or patches, and yeah, let's listen to one. Okay, how about this one? Let's listen to another one. Oh, yeah. I want you to notice that when you select a new patch and you keep holding a patch, it's still playing even though I just loaded a new patch. So that's really convenient if you have like a long sound that you want to ring out. Okay, as you can hear, there's a lot of kind of crazy sounds in there, but what makes me excited is when I get to learn the layout of the sound engine and the architecture, and I can create my own sound. So I want to do that now, and little by little we're going to introduce different pieces of the sound engine, and by the end of this little tutorial, or maybe it's going to be a long tutorial, I hope you have a good overview of how it's all working out. So without further ado, let's start build our own sounds. So how do we start from scratch? First of all, it's divided up into sections here, and there's quite neatly organized actually once you get to know it. And there's little headlines here like labels, layers, wave sequence lanes, mod knobs, and this is a set list of wave sequence steps. Yeah, the filters here, the envelopes here, LFO is here for vibrato and such, and in the end everything passes through the what's called the program effects and the master effects. Yeah, and the screen is actually quite neat. So I'm gonna break it down for you just step by step. First of all, if you want to do something over here, press something over there, and then you'll see that on the screen. If you want to do something with the filter, move something on the filter and we're instantly moved to the filter. If you want to do something over here, press it, and then we're in this section. Move this one, you're immediately there. Move this one, immediately see. So you see immediately what you touch, which is a really nice touch. And if you just want to look at something, some of these segments, they have like a little button like that, select. You can press it, you just go there and nothing really happens. You just go there. Perform, utility, mod, there's modulation. Right, this is for saving. There's something called cancel there, and this is a shift button. I'm going to use the shift button a lot to access all the labels labeled in blue. So to cancel anything, press shift and cancel, or yeah, enter, cancel, enter, cancel. Yeah. First of all, let's just start out from scratch. How do you do that? Well, you press the performance page and you dial this quickly to the left, and it will end up in the top slot there. Quickly to the right will be in the end there, like this really quick way of going to the top. And the top one is initialize performance. So this is a clean patch. Just by listening to it, you can hear that it's going from one type of sound to another type of sound. It's like a round sound and a very sharp sound. And in fact, it's crossfading between two samples. And so where are they sampled? Well, I happen to know that they're right here. In this section, all of the settings that will tell you about the sequencing of a sound and the sound source and everything that can be sequenced, basically, it's over here. By just pressing sample and playing again, now we can see that this is displaying the sequence of the sample. And we can get an idea of these two steps here. By pressing them, the page there moves you to the place where the different samples are. By pressing this, it's on the sample page. Actually, if you look closely here, you can see that we're on page 1 out of 3 in the sample category. There's the pitch one, shape, gate, step sequencer, master. Everything that has like pages up there can be navigated between different pages. So I want to change the sound. I don't want it currently to move between two samples. I just want it to be one. So if we read the screen now, sample, it says start A1, end A2. It says loop start A1, loop end A2. So the sequence itself is 2 steps long, and the loop itself is also playing those 2 steps. If I immediately press dial these, start and end, I can very quickly just tell it to, well, no, I just want to play A1 to A1. So now we're effectively just playing the first step here on the sequencer. By pressing the step in the sequencer, we get to the second page there containing all of the information of that particular step in the sequencer. So all of these things can be changed here. I navigate between them with arrows like this, all of the entry points. And if I navigate continue to navigate, it's going to take me to the next page. So this is the sample lane step, sample lane utility, sample lane, yeah. By pressing shift and right and left, I can quickly move between these pages. Okay, so we're on step 1, and I want to change the sound. And this is the sound. So when it's selected, this is changing the value. Okay. We happen to be in a place now where we're at these very short waves. So what I suspect they've done is that they've sampled lots of synthesizers and just taken waves from those. Yeah, how about this? But if we go away from this, there's a lot of different types of sounds. Some orchestral sounds, some more synthesizer-like sounds, and some a bit more wacky stuff, some rhythmical stuff. Yeah, and there's a lot of samples, so it could be a bit tedious to navigate that. What you do then, now as we're selecting a sample, is to go to page 2 there, but shift and right. And here we can quickly go into categories, press enter, and then we can navigate through just like a category. For instance, let's see, waveform, enter. Now we're back to where we started. Oh, this one is nice. Okay, this is nice. I'm going to press enter. So now this sound is on step number 1. Okay, nice. So what I want to do now is try out the filter. So I'm just going to change the cutoff here and see what happens. Change the resonance. Ooh, nice. So I want to automate this. I want to make a sound that sounds like this, a typical synthesizer sound. So let's do that. Let's see. We got envelopes down here and envelope intensity up here. So let's move this and see what happens. Yeah. So now it's using the filter envelope. I just pressed it and we see it immediately there. And taking that value and implying a negative behavior onto the resonance cutoff filter. Yeah. If I do positive, it opens up instead. So if the frequency of the filter is low and the filter envelope has a short attack, short decay, that's a very typical way of creating a synth sound, like the first synth sound. If you want to make it react to velocity in this, maybe you wanted to open up the filter when you press harder. You can do that. Filter envelope, velocity. I'm gonna bring this down. Okay. Maybe too much. I'm going to bring up the... there are many types of filters. Some of them are displayed here. This is the Poly 6 emulated filter. If you press this again, it's going to shift to another filter. Press it again, it's going to be a high pass filter. And if you go down to more, there's actually more to choose from there. You can go through this whole list of filters. There's more. I'm gonna keep it to Poly 6. I think it's kind of nice. Okay, so this is the simple sound. Let's see if we can make a vibrato of the pitch. Okay. A vibrato is typically made with an LFO, and LFO is a value that is just trembling, sort of. And we can see here, LFO is something you can, there's basically 4 different LFOs. One for the filter, for the volume, for the pitch, for the pan. So I'm going to go to the pitch one here, and turn this one, intensity, see what happens. It's working, the frequency. Okay, if we press it again, we can see there's different types of, let's say, I'm going to move to that big waveform there. Nice. So lots of different waveforms there. It's actually quite nice. I'm going to take this. And then I'm going to see what more I could do. It's something called fade. It's a fade in seconds, yeah. I'm going to dial down the velocity a little bit. Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, let's move on. We've selected a sample, we made some filters, we checked out the envelope. Actually, check out the amp envelope. Did we do that? No, we didn't. So we did something to the filter envelope to move the filter. Let's move to the amp envelope to move the volume over time. So we can see an attack there. I want to keep it fast. We can see the decay and the sustain. A release time. Actually, even though I dial up a quite long release time, I can't hear it because the filter envelope is kind of killing it by locking down the filter. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Okay, so yeah, let's move on. At this point, maybe we'd like to see what the end effects are doing. And there's a lane here, or a lane, it's not a lane, but 4 buttons. Pre-effect, mod effect, delay, and reverb. I'm going to take a look at this first. I'm going to press it, and this is an effect slot. Up there we can select the type of effect, compressor, EQ, decimator, guitar amp, modern compressor, EQ. Whoa, ring modulator. Wave shape is kind of aggressive. Let's try the wave shape. It's kind of unique. So these knobs, they're kind of hard coded into wet and dry. How much of the effect? And a parameter. And this time it's scale. That's kind of weird. So let's try low pass filter. Let's see the first page. See what it's doing. And every effect has different presets. And the preset here in the effect, it's not actually just parameter changes. It could be a whole new different flavor. So it's still a wave shaper, but they sound totally different. That's cool. I like the Ulysses A. Yeah, let's use that. Okay, let's be a little bit less aggressive. I'm just gonna experiment with that. Okay. Okay, so that's an example. I'm gonna try the guitar amps. Yeah, I'm very curious about them. So guitar amps. Okay, let's see what the different models are. Oh. Ooh. How about this one? It still retains the original sound, distorts it in a quite nice way. Treble tone. Mid bass. Yeah, I kind of like that. Okay, at this point I want to put a reverb on it, so I'm going to move to the reverb, but you can see there's a little LED underneath here. It's not lit. This one was lit, like at the default. If I want to turn off this, either use the shift button and press it, or double tap it. So if you just have one hand, just double tap it. Okay, so the reverb is now on. The reverb is a master reverb. So there's 4 different layers here, which I haven't really mentioned. But all of what I've been doing now can be layered into 4 different layers, completely different sounds. And all of those 4, they will be sent to the reverb. But the pre-effect, that is per layer. Okay. Okay, there's a lot of different reverbs there. So in the reverb, okay, it looks like it's just 3 reverbs. Let's select one, and then the different presets. Actually, there's quite quite a good deal of different reverbs. Try another one. Oh, dark ambient. That's kind of nice. Okay, a little less of that. Make it shorter. Okay, nice. Let's try the delay. Same thing here. Double tap to turn it on, or shift and tap. Okay, let's try some different delays here. There's a bunch. Reverse delay, that's nice. Let's try it. That's nice. That's nice. Nice and dreamy. Okay, I like it. Now, I just want to save this. So I'm going to press right. Then it's asking me to say, what kind of type is this? I'm just going to keep it performance. Then I'm going to move to name and press enter. And here I can start naming it. By pressing shift and page to the left, I'm going to erase the name. And I'm going to call it... yeah, I'm starting by navigating here. I'm going to call it see you next, see you toot. So I'm going to remember this sound. By pressing shift, I can move between the different keyboards. Okay, press and it says down here, press enter. Yeah, protected cannot override, because this is initially the initialized starting point, so I can't override the initialized performance. So I need to press shift and right to save a new patch. Save as new performance, press enter to confirm. Yes, so just saved it. Nice. Okay, let's find it here. Okay, there we go. Neatly organized, and yeah, there we go. Cool. It's our very first sound that we made on the Wavestate, and we're excited. Okay, so what else can we do? I didn't talk about this section, arpeggiator. Let's press it. And immediately when I pressed it, I could see it on the screen here, what I could do with it. So pattern up, down, oh, alt. Okay, so, oops, there is the resolution. Swing. tad of swing. And now I have a pedal, so I could just... But there's something called latch here as well. So if I press shift and arpeggiator, it will latch the chord without me pressing any pedals. So then I press shift and latch again to exit that. Yeah, that's nice. How about taking the mod wheel and opening up the filter by using the mod wheel? Yeah, let's do that. Absolutely possible. Okay, so the way to do that, to modulate, to create a modulation, is really, really neat actually. If we just press mod, we get to the modulation place where all of the modulations are stored and displayed in a little neat, organized thing. We can see down here, add new mod plus right. So if I press mod and this together, it will ask me, okay, add new modulation, move the target knob, something that you want to modulate. Okay, I want to modulate the filter. Okay, filter cutoff detected. Source, waiting. Now it's waiting for me to move a knob that I want to be the modulation source. In this case, I want this one. It's waiting. I just moved it and it detected it. And also it's giving us a really nice hint here. It says mod wheel CC1. So if you want to modulate this over MIDI, it actually gives you, yeah, it will also listen to external MIDI with the same CC value. Okay, press enter to continue. And the next stage is gonna make us select to what extent we want to. So right now it's not doing anything, but if we do it like this much, maybe even more. And some parameters can be modulated, some parameters cannot be modulated. And it will clearly tell you, like, cannot be modulated. Let's try some different things to modulate and see. Like, for instance, the delay there. Let's press the delay. Let's see the delay time there. Can that be modulated? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's say that this joystick here, I want to change the delay time. Now that this is selected, sometimes when there is no hard-coded place where you want to change and place a modulation, you can just leave the cursor at one place. It's at the delay time now. And when we create a new modulation now, mod plus, it says add a new modulation, move the target knob, or press enter to modulate the current parameter. So I'm just going to press enter there. Okay, yeah, that's okay. I can modulate the delay time with this joystick. And you can see when I moved it to the right there, it's CC value 16. If I move it up and down, it's CC value 17. So this has two axes. Okay, I want to modulate it to the right there. Ooh, the mirror, I touched it. Okay. And yeah, okay, to what extent? Lots. Yeah, nice. That's kind of funky. I want to make moving it up. I want to make that. Yeah. Maybe the reverb. Okay, So I'm going to add another modulation plus reverb wet, yeah, with joystick, yeah, and enter, yeah, and how much? Intensity, lots. Too much. Maybe that could also modulate, like one knob, one place could modulate several targets. So let's try it again. Reverb and let's see, size. Okay, I put it there, modulate and add, enter. Yeah, it's okay. That could be modulated with the up as well. Enter and make it bigger. Okay, let's see. Okay, I want the right one to also add some of that length, because when we're moving away from B, it's actually taking down the length. Okay, let's try that. So I'm gonna take okay, where are we? Reverb, size, mod, page, the reverb, yeah, and also that, yeah, and add some value. Okay, when I move it up, I also want to make a little vibrato. So let's take that pitch envelope again, and I'm gonna take away this in this long fade up time, and I'm gonna reset the, let's see, yeah, the intensity of the vibrato to 0. But however, okay, pitch, LFO, pitch mod, yeah. When we add a new modulation here, I'm not sure how many modulations I can add, but it seems limitless. I'm not sure. There has to be some sort of limit, maybe. Okay, I want to modulate this, pitch, LFO, intensity, with this. And enter. I want to do a lot of that. Okay. Too much. Like 2 semitones. How about that? Too much. I like this. I really do. Okay, one thing now that let's say we have a cool sound. I'm gonna save it again. Right now, I can just overwrite this. I press write again and enter. Yeah. One thing now is that maybe we arrived at this place where we kind of made everything we could to make it sound good, and then it's still not good enough. I mean, maybe we wanted to give it a little facelift somehow. And one really good place to do that is to go to the reverb. There's actually more there than just a reverb. If you continue to shift pages there, the last page of the reverb or the master is an EQ. So there is a master EQ for every patch. So let's go there and turn it on. For instance, I'd like to give it some more bass. I'm going to go down there to the low shelf and give it some... Oops. Yeah, a bit more meaty. Maybe we'd identify some muddy frequencies there somewhere that we want to bring down. So there's the EQ, low shelf, 2 mid bands and 1 high shelf. Let's listen to the high shelf. Yeah, it's nice. I like it. Save. Right, enter. Done. Okay, all of this has been going on one layer. Let's turn this layer off. Double tapping, no sound. Let's turn another layer on. It's back in the initial preset. So we haven't changed this one yet. So it's still in this preset state. So what could complement this? Let's say. How about like a flute-like layer that will sort of fade in over time? We have this hard attack, and then we want to kind of take something that fades in. So I'm gonna do the same thing now that I did on layer 1 there, and move to layer B, turn it on, go to the sample, go to step 1, okay, sample again, and make it just to play step 1 to begin with. Go to step 1 and change a sample, change it to something else. Ooh. I'm gonna turn the other one on just to see how it complements it. So back to sample, and so now I'm hunting basically. So I'm gonna, where do I want to go? I'm gonna turn this off. Sort of saxophone. Some of these samples, it's just one sample that's pitched up and down. Some of them are multi-sample packs. This is a multi-sample pack. There's no way to tell the difference between them, but yeah, maybe this could be a nice one. Okay, I'm just gonna listen to them together, see. I'm gonna take layer B now, the saxophone and the saxophone, and turn up the attack of the amp to make it slow. It's too overwhelming, so I'm gonna turn down the level of this whole layer. It's too full. Okay, let's move on and see. I'm gonna turn off the initial layer there. Okay, and now we're going to go to the sample again and say, yeah, why not play both of the steps now? Move to the second step, select a different sample there. Ooh, did you hear that? That was actually Yeah, that's the kind of more suitable to this type of sound. And move to step 1 there. Atmos. What was it called? Synth Atmos. So it's synth Atmos 1. Okay. That's kind of suitable. Let's make it move much slower. There's a number of ways you could do that. One is to go to the timing. Just dial down the speed. Say too slow. Slower. Okay, I want to send that to the delay as well, I think. But I think it's too overwhelming still, so I need to maybe filter it. I'm gonna try with a filter resonance first to bring it to the background, sort of. Since the other layer is gonna be very sharp. Maybe the opposite. Maybe I'm gonna do a high pass filter instead. Maybe I'm just exploring. So okay, let's see what the, maybe we can use a different type of effect on this layer. Okay, so what kind of effect would that be? Ring modulator. Yeah, how about that? What different types of ring modulators? Okay, let's see how they complement each other. Longer release time. Yeah, that could be a sound. Let's see. Yeah, I like this. Right, enter. Okay, yeah, so I think basically this is what I wanted to show you now, and there's a lot more depth, but you get the idea now. And all of these buttons or knobs, I didn't even touch them, but you can set them up the exact same way as I set this modulation here and this modulation there. It's the exact same thing. So lots of modulations. I actually have to read the manual and see if there is an upper limit of modulations. Maybe I should do that right now, see if I find it. Let's see, modulations. I tried to find it in manual. I couldn't find it. Maybe there is a maximum number of modulation, but it's really designed from the ground up to be like the modulation beast. And yeah, maybe there is no upper limit. I don't know. But I've been adding modulation, lots of them, and I haven't seen a warning that like, oh, that was your last modulation or something. I haven't seen it. So it's very rich on modulations, which is really good, because in that way you can modulate stuff out of many sources. Like the moment you switch step, that could be a modulation source, or that could trigger something. And yeah, all of these. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. So this is the Wavestate, just a little touch of what you can do with the Wavestate. And I think like it's a very rich engine, and it's very lightweight, and it's full-size keys, and you can do a lot of stuff with those layers and clever use of the wave sequences. Yeah, I think it's a good one. Yeah, let's leave it at that. I'm gonna make more videos with this and take it a couple of notches deeper in the future. I want to compliment Korg, and especially, I think I mentioned earlier, didn't I, that this is the Korg, the US office first product and first synthesizer that they developed over there. So I'm sure they're stoked to be putting out their first synthesizer. So compliments to you over there in the US. You did a great job. I think what especially shines in this one is that the refined workflow. It was totally mysterious to me at first. When I opened it up, I scratched my head. But the more I get into it, I haven't had it that many days actually, but the more I got into it, I really started to see the workflow, and now I completely understand it. It's a really refined workflow that is custom designed to work with this unique sound engine, and it works really well. So yeah, great work with the user interface and the sound engine. Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to show you today. And if you enjoy the stuff that I'm doing here on YouTube, to the extent that you actually want to support my presence and my videos and work, then you can do that over at Patreon. Patreon is a great platform for supporting independent artists and creators such as myself and others. And I think what it's doing, it's helping me to stay independent and not waver to the commercial temptations or anything. I want to stay independent, and I want to handpick stuff that I find interesting to dive deep down into and to show and share with you. So if you want to support that approach, please head over to my Patreon site and sign up for a monthly contribution of your choice. And yeah, I'm so thankful for everyone who's doing that. That's the way I can keep moving forward and creating all of these videos for you. And I want to continue with that. Okay. So once again, Korg, congratulations on the great release. Yeah, see you soon. And always stay curious and ask questions. And don't be afraid to ask silly questions. Yeah. Peace out, everyone. Stay cool.